Ifes o hwy o Miras Orth, Canol Cerno.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Cornwall channel. I'm Shane Solomon, and here's what's coming up in this week's show. If you're looking for something different to do in Cornwall with regards to sport, then have you thought about playing American football? You heard me right, American football is here in Cornwall. Since coach Brian Smallworth came to Cornwall some 10 years ago, this sport is picking up a big following, and I bring you an insight into the organisation when I popped into their training session in Penryn last Tuesday. On Saturday the 12th of October, I was invited to attend a silent auction at the St Austell Cricket Club, organised by the St Austell Lions Club. What is a silent auction? Find out later in the programme. Last week saw the start of Communications Week here in Cornwall, and we bring you the first of reports covering this at the Cornwall Assistive Technology Services Day in Newquay, where I got to meet a truly inspirational and funny young man. To finish our show this week, the heat is on in the kitchen as the first instalment from Cornwall Masterchef gets underway. This report was filmed and produced by the students at Truro College's Moving Images HND course. This competition, which was the brainchild of Ben Stevens, has gathered the attention of some of Cornwall's finest chefs. This will be the first part in an 8-part series of reports covering the competition. Coming up after the Cornwall channel, we have our second episode of Rotary Southwest, so stay tuned to see the great work that they're doing here in Cornwall. Shout-outs this week go to Mary Alice Petch-Pollard, Norma Kay, Sally Plowright, Kirsty Robbins, Karen Louise Hearn, Elizabeth Whitford, and Mark Aldos says to say hello to his mum Iris in praise. She always watches. Hi Iris. Please enjoy the show, and don't forget we love to hear from you. If you think there's something going on in Cornwall that we should know about and feature here on the telly, just let us know via our website cornwallchannel.co.uk or via our Facebook and Twitter pages. And if you're looking for the latest 24/7 news about Cornwall, please do check out our friends at thisiscornwall.co.uk. See you next week.
It's not big enough.
Yeah, how will I know?
Coach,
Hang on a minute. When will I know? Because I've started putting this on, and it does hurt to start putting it on.
No, it will
so...
do, yeah.
Right.
It will do. I'll just cut your ears off otherwise.
Ah, Jesus.
Is that an extra L? Extra large? We need an extra L, large. No, we need no, not that one. Ryan, we need an extra large helmet.
I've been sent down here
No, not that
by the
one. We need
Cornwall
that
channel in Penryn
Can we have an extra
to
large
try
black
out
helmet?
American football. I don't think I'll try it out, but I'll certainly have a word with some of these guys here trying it out.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking. Thank you. So,
well, let's just check that's not too long.
No, it's extra large.
is it? How do you know? Right.
There you go, mate.
It's all kicking off down here in Penryn. Things I have to do for TV. Ah, Jesus! That's what I want. I just pulled up. Yeah, right, that's it. Okay, the Cornwall channel has sent me down here to Penryn to find out more about American football in Cornwall.
1, 2, 3, try!
It's the Falmouth Tridents. That's our new university team. It's the first university team in Cornwall, a part of the Cornish Academy, which is part of the Sharks organisation. Really historical. You know, it's just something special. You know, they're a good bunch of kids. Really good bunch of kids.
It was one of those things I found at uni when I found it a couple of years ago. It was literally coach sat at our freshers fair. It seemed like one of those interesting things. I'd seen a couple of games at that point, and then I decided I want to be the start of something. So me and a few of the guys that are left now, I suppose I founding members of the original team. But it's one of those things where here in Cornwall, it's growing and it's flourishing, and it's because of the work that we're all putting in. It wasn't something that was here when we all got here, which is the really, really exciting thing about it. So that's why I'm here, because I got to help and I got to help keep it here.
10 years. 10 years. I moved down to Cornwall 13 years ago, and I was coaching at Bristol, worst team in the country at the time. Within 2 years, I turned into national champions. People were like, oh my God, what's he done? He's done it again. So, you know, that was good, but it was the travelling. You know, 600, 700 miles a week. And then at the end of the season, to be told I wasn't committed enough. So I went, I'm moving. And I was asked to set a team up in Cornwall, which we did. Called it the South West Sharks. Weren't allowed to call it the South West Sharks, so it was the Cornish Sharks, which was the best move. And that's how it grew and started. And we've been successful ever since.
Oh, it's one of the only contact sports we can do and be involved with the guys as well.
Yeah.
Because normally if you do a contact sport, you have to play for a girls' team, or there just isn't one. Like there isn't a girls' rugby team, which I don't think is particularly fair. So American football, you get involved with the guys, and you can have a girls' team as well, so you've got more opportunities.
Basically, I love the sport. It's a bit different than any other sport, and I don't know, I just enjoy running and I enjoy catching, and it's a new sport, and instead of doing the stereotypical football or anything else.
Look at www.cornishsharks.co.uk. You can go on Falmouth Tridents, you go on the Cornish Academy. It's all on there. It's you know, just look for the Cornish Sharks. Yeah, come along and try it.
Well, it's Saturday the 12th of October and I've been sent down here to the St Austell Cricket Club. Now tonight there is a silent auction going on here organised by the Lions. Now I want to find out what is a silent auction and also what do the Lions do. Let's go and find out.
It's a service organisation to serve the local community of St Austell. We do fundraising events, we do community events. We helped with the Dare Bears for the mayor last year, for example. We do things like the Christmas sleigh every December for about 18 or 19 days, where we go out into all the local communities, and Santa's there giving out his little lollipops, and we obviously we collect money for our local charities that we're raising money for in this year. This year we are focusing a lot on the RNLI and the Cornwall Site Centre, and also tonight we're raising money for the Cornwall Hospice Care.
And finally also for the RNLI, who we have two representatives with us this evening who've come to help Mr Denham and Mr Maxwell, who have come to represent the RNLI tonight.
My name's Richard Denham, I'm chairman of the St Austell branch of the RNLI. We're here on invitation of the Cricket Club because we are one of their charities for this evening, of which we are very, very grateful. As you can appreciate, it costs an awful lot of money to keep the boats running, but we can truthfully say that any money we make in this area goes directly to running the Foy boats. It doesn't go into a central fund, it goes into Foy's account for them to spend as they see fit.
Fantastic. What other kind of things are going on at the moment?
At the moment, we do a monthly lunch club at Charlestown with the Charlestown Church. We do the usual collections. We are the nominated charity for the St Austell Torchlight this year.
Fantastic.
And then going on a bit further, in January we have a race night at St Blaise Football Club. And in April we have the man himself, Johnny Cowling, coming down to do a charity night for us, which I am thrilled to bits about.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, it's a great honour for me to be here this evening to be asked to come and open this event. The Lions, you're all doing some incredible work in our community, and I want to say thank you for all that you do and all that you have done. But as has been said, tonight is about raising as much money as possible for these really important local charities. So I want to encourage you, be as generous as you can, dig deep, and just to formally announce that our event tonight, our auction, is now open.
Well, obviously the Lions do some incredible work in our community, raising a lot of money, supporting charity and helping people, you know, who really need that sort of help. So it's a great honour to be here tonight and support the work the Lions do.
And what else is going on in Mayor World at the moment? You know, it's a year for you to do the office. What's going on?
Well, it's been a really busy time. The summer's been very busy. Lots of community events, things like carnivals, you know, summer fetes. things like that. So going and supporting the community, as well as raising money for charity. Recently had my Mayor's Golf Day, which was a great success, raised about 750 quid on that for local charities, and also chairing the council, and a lot of stuff going on with the council with various planning applications for developments in the area that the council obviously have a role in, so that's an important part of it as well.
Well, the silent auction is well underway here at the cricket club in St Austell. You can feel the tension here because there's people that's bidding, say for example an item's £4, it's worth £4, someone will go in and go £4.25, £4.50. But then you'll get some crazy person come straight in and go 20 quid. 20 quid for 4 is insane. I just don't know how to explain it really.
A silent auction by definition is done by a list of numbers. Everybody who attends the event has a number allocated, and there are bidding sheets for each of the items which are being kindly donated by around 60 businesses around St Austell. So you go to the table with your number and you make bids on all of the items or whichever specific items you want to bid on. This is a first. This is a first of a silent auction that we've done in St Austell. For the future, as I say, we've got the Christmas collections to do. We also go to the local stores, and then that's it for this year. And in the summertime we do duck races down on the Penchuan River. That's around July, August, when it's the main holiday season.
So any events coming up?
Yeah, we have the Swimathon, which we organise every year at the Polkite Leisure Centre for local teams, but they raise it for their own charities. We are the facilitator of that event. We organise it with Polkite, we process the entries from each of the teams, and they come along and then they do for their own specific causes. That's on the 9th of November, on the Saturday.
Well, it's 2 minutes to 9 here now, and you can still feel the tension of everyone getting the last minute bids in. And it's a bit like waiting for Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, you know, when you're counting down to 12 o'clock midnight. Some tension here, some tension.
Could everyone move away from the tables? All the snipers, move away, start bidding. Once the winning bids have been announced, you're expected to collect your prizes or purchases and pay for them, which will be in the corner over here with Jeff. Okay, if there's any item that has not had a bid on it, I will auction that item off after the other items have been collected.
Looking for a home maintenance company you can trust? Ocean now provides a whole range of expert maintenance services, from heating, electrics and plumbing to refurbishment and roofing. And thanks to our 24-hour emergency call-out service, you're always covered. Ocean, we do more than you think. To find out more, call St Austell 874488 today or visit www.morethanyoutthink.co.uk.
Newell's Travel, Cornwall's premier independent travel agent, are now offering Newquay to Bulgaria from just £336 per person. Departing on the 24th of May 2014 during half-term and the 12th of September 2014. You'll be staying at the Sunny Beach Resort for 7 nights with B&B board. For full details, please visit us at newellstravel.co.uk or by calling 0800 008 7411. Well, the Cornwall Channel have come out here to Atlantic Reach today, for which is the start of Communication Week. Now, Communication Week, before I introduce you to Darren Williams here, is all about communication, funny enough. And obviously I'm very lucky that I can communicate to you now using my voice. But what if my voice was to go? How do you communicate? I want you to have a look at this clip and just see how inspiring this is.
I know what you were all thinking when you saw me come on stage. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It happens all the time and I'm used to it by now. You were thinking, here comes another idiot with his iPad. You'd be mistaken. I'm a disabled idiot with an iPad. The difference being that I paid for the iPad with my benefit money. Don't tell David Cameron. He still thinks I can't walk. Still have bad eyesight. And have a problem with my bladder. Unfortunately for those closest to the stage, one of those facts is actually true. There should be a bucket down there somewhere. Please, could one of you hold it in case of emergency? I'm usually a pretty good shot.
Well, there you go. Darren, your thoughts? Lost voice guy.
Wow, what does it tell you? The gentleman, lost voice guy, can't speak, can't communicate verbally. Isn't it funny how we make assumptions over individuals that possibly can't communicate verbally?
Mm-hmm.
There's more to life than just being able to speak verbally. It's about total communication, using any medium you can to communicate and not make assumptions.
And it's funny, you know, I mean, society, you know, I think it's fair to say that people would walk past him in the street and think, you know, disability or whatever.
Absolutely.
But this guy's making a fantastic living
as a stand-up
comedian.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think, you know, that's very good to see somebody that can actually use a piece of technology that will enable them to actually communicate. I think we also have to look at the fact that people with profound and complex needs, they too need to find a voice. And we need to find a voice for those individuals as well. And it's really important that those individuals have that opportunity.
Well, I work for Cornwall Council and Cornwall Foundation Trust, and one of the reasons I'm here today is to make sure that everyone knows that those two organisations really support the Communications Charter in Cornwall. Comedian was fantastic. I think one of the interesting things about hearing a different perspective on disability is that it helps to remind us that we need to learn to listen. We need to listen not to ourselves, and this charter is all about communication. But I think the most important thing that organisations need to do is to listen better. And I know that all of the work that's been going on with the Communications Charter will help us to listen better to people with learning disabilities and their families.
And last but not least, I need to point out this. I hate that we have so many politically correct words to describe disabled people now. When I went to school, I honestly went to a school with spastics in its name. They certainly knew how to make us feel good about ourselves. Now it's all special needs, special schools, Special Olympics. I don't know what is so special about me. That is why it always alarms me when I hear about special forces going to war. Let's be realistic. You wouldn't want me to be guiding you through a minefield or trying to talk a suicide bomber out of blowing themselves up. However, if you gave me a gun, at least the Americans would have someone else to blame for friendly fire.
This is what we call the CATS Day, which is Cornwall Assistive Technology Services Day, where services from adult learning disabilities, the hospital service and children's service come together to demonstrate communication technology. We've got a range of suppliers from upcountry demonstrating their products. We've got seminars from people like Stormfront talking about how we can make iPads more accessible. We've got a seminar on free and cheap resources that people can download off the internet. And a really interesting seminar on using eye gaze to access your computer if you have a real severe physical disability. So lots going on, lots of people, but it's really the three services coming together. And it's part of a communication week that has been set up to launch the Communication Charter, which is a charter for people with learning disabilities about what we should expect in terms of good communication for them. So we have this event today. We're doing a large training event tomorrow with 36 people being trained as communication leaders who will work in their organisations to promote good communication. At the end of the training tomorrow, they'll be provided with a memory stick with a training toolkit so that they can actually cascade what they've learnt during the day into their own organisation. That might be on a one-to-one when a new member of staff becomes on board, or it might be at a team meeting or in small groups, but they will be promoting good communication within their organisation and be part of a network that we develop across Cornwall to share all the good things that are going on to support people.
Well, for me, it's been an absolute eye-opener here today at Atlantic Reach, and keep an eye out next week because we do have another instalment of a feature that involves Communication Week. Darren, thank you very much to you and your team for inviting us along today, and keep up the great work.
Thank you very much.
If you have enjoyed laughing at a disabled man, please spread the word. To help you do this, I'll be selling some of my Lost Voice Guy DVDs after the gig, trying to make back a bit of the money that David Cameron has taken away in benefits. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.
You're here at the launch of Masterchef Cornwall, or Cornish Masterchef as they prefer me to call it. I'd like you first of all to welcome on stage the organiser, the person who thought this all up, and that's Ben Stevens. Now Ben has been a chef, and now you go around advising people on how to keep their restaurants going.
Yeah, pretty much trying to improve standards for small businesses and give them a real competitive advantage in a really competitive market.
So what got you into being a chef?
Just the staff error, basically. They were short in the kitchen one day, I stepped in and got out.
It's lovely, it's a really nice dish, and I think, I think 5 out of 10 is quite hard marking, but I think we're going to be looking at 7s and 8s, and to get to a 10 I think is going to be absolute perfection.
What brought up the idea of Cornish Masterchef? Actually, it was a conversation with a few of the chefs that we've been working with the Cornish Chefs Club and some of my clients, and we thought that there's an awful lot of demonstrations and an awful lot of competitions about head chefs and how great the head chefs are. But in Cornwall, we've got a massive food industry, and we thought it'd be really nice to showcase some of the up-and-coming talent give them an opportunity to show what they've got to offer and learn a few extra experiences so that they can actually, build their careers and build their profiles.
We do have fantastic food now in Cornwall, as I said, compared to the 70s and 80s. But when we were talking before, you said that's the top, that down below we still need to improve.
I think from an industry basis, yes, the 10% of the restaurants that you hear about are probably the peak of the food industry down here. There's a huge amount of restaurants, cafes, coffee shops, small local independents who are doing a really good job of striving to do better, and they're really starting to come through the ranks.
Okay, and it's £1,000 first prize?
£1,000 first prize, and a slate trophy as well, which we'll show you at the end, up for grabs for the first prize. Yeah.
The idea is presumably to keep it going year on year, not just 1 year, but we're not actually doing any of the competition today. Why is that?
This was really an opportunity to kind of show the public what we're planning on doing, but also we're filming this. Cornwall Channel TV are going to be broadcasting snippets of each round as we go along, and this is an opportunity to give some of the guys a taster of what Michelin star food and Rosette standard food they should be kind of achieving.
We'll look forward certainly to that. Let's welcome now a man who's going to be one of the judges. There's going to be a number of different judges. He's a man well known in Falmouth. He's the head chef at the Green Bank, and that's Steve Marsh.
Hi there.
Steve, how long have you been chefing?
Chefing for, I suppose, 15 years. Yeah, absolutely.
And what do you think of the quality now in Cornwall these days?
The quality is really, really high. We're really lucky. We've got lots of really good chefs down in Cornwall. There's some amazing restaurants and some really, really good places to go out and eat. So yeah, it's very high.
Now, I watch MasterChef. I'm sure many of us watch MasterChef, and I never can understand how do you choose between one dish which is completely different to another dish?
I think it's all about the way that the dish is being put together and the flavours, the textures, the presentation and all those sorts of things, and we'll go through a little bit more of that later on, but yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well that's fantastic. Now, we're going to find out what type of cooking they're going to be expected to produce, and so now a place where I go and eat sometime, Laguna's Head, fantastic place, and the head chef there is Bruce Rennie. Go. So Bruce, you're going to be judging as well.
Yeah.
What do you look for in a good dish? Is it how it looks, how it smells, how it tastes, altogether what?
Obviously a bit of everything, but primarily flavour. Taste first, that's the first point. Then it's all the small aspects where they're sourcing the ingredients, intelligent thought about the ingredients and where they've come from, and the appropriateness to the dish. It doesn't need to be complicated or complex, but everything has to play a part in the dish. That's why I'm doing something today.
Okay, well we've got two chefs here. Have you ever entered a competition?
No.
Why not?
It's not something I've ever really gone in for myself, so no, I've just sort of stayed behind the stoves and let that do the talking, to be fair.
What about you?
No, I didn't actually. We set up a few up north, but I spent most of my time training and working too hard to actually get in the kitchen.
But do you think they really work? A competition, does it improve a chef? I mean, you watch MasterChef, they're sometimes not very good at the start, by the end they can open their own restaurant. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it gives them something to aspire to, and the dish that they're going to see today from Bruce, it's going to show them a different level maybe that they're used to, or style or presentation, and I think competitions for that are really good.
Thank you for watching this week's Cornwall Channel. We would love to hear from you, your thoughts and ideas for future Cornish programmes. This dedicated weekly channel for Cornwall on Sky and Freesat aims to deliver information and local programmes. If you have any news you think we should cover, then please get in touch using our website at cornwallchannel.co.uk or via our Facebook and Twitter pages. See you next week.